worldwide. And Rockefeller Foundation to launch $1 million cassava irrigation challenge for Africa. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the studios of your news channel, GBC24. You're also live on Ghana television. This is the news. My name is Akbene Avo Ajaja. The limited voter registration exercise has ended nationwide. The exercise, which started on the 28th of April, targeted those who just turned 18 and those who could not register during the last voters registration. On the last day of the exercise, eligible voters and registration officers at some centers in Accra called for an extension of the exercise.
The first port of call was the Legon Hall, where there were few people in the queue. The place was calm and registration was going on smoothly. According to the EC officials, when the process started, there were a lot of people and this put pressure on them. But as the days went by, the pressure eased because the students have started writing their examination. Some of the officers were slow in registering the participants, so they were changed for others to take over to double up the registration. Asked why some of the participants have waited till the last day before registering, Trislia Asari, a student, said she had been there earlier when the process began but had to go and come back later.
Actually, I came here last week, but the queue was too much, so I couldn't. I had a paper, so I had to go and write my paper. That's why I couldn't make it.
30 people had registered as at 10 a.m. in the morning. Still on Legon campus, 29 people had been registered at Jubilee Link, another registration center which was created to ease the tension at Legon Hall. Kingsley Boache, a registration officer, described the process as smooth but with few problems.
The fact is that we have level 100 and 200, about 7,500 students who are supposed to register, and the turnout was very high previously, but now because of the exams, people are not coming here to register.
Benjamin Auredu, a student, was not happy because he had been in the queue for 5 hours.
We always come and meet a longer queue, and the people too in charge are very slow.
35 people had registered at the Pentagon Registration Center, still on the Legon campus. At Hacho Presbyterian School Center, the queue was long, and one wonders if they will be able to get their names on the records of the EC before 6 p.m. today. Lawrence Adi Okreku explained why the long queue.
There are so many people in this Hacho electoral area trying to register. Since the day we started, they have been like this. And we've been trying to register a lot. We started with 99 as the first day, and even yesterday we did 125. We can't say much saying that because each day they come, new people come in from this same Hacho area.
Enoch Mensah and Mohammed Gbati had been there for days, yet have not registered.
And then me say, me ban on them. Me ban 3 o'clock. We do and say my bet now no say. You almost say machine here one. Yetianum. Ibuba no ma fayen no ma koye. Yes yetianum. Ye kakro mu fie. Into no still na yetianum aye twin.
On the whole, there were no major problems at the centers visited, but the major concern is that there is a need for an extension of the period for registration.
They have been living on the streets and they have fond memories of their biological mothers. As the world celebrates Mother's Day, these street children in Accra wished their mothers the best of the season, but were quick to add that they do not want to become mothers whilst on the streets.
Woman, I see a woman.
These children have been living on the streets for a number of years, and for now their home is here. That is the street in front of the Silver Star.
And as part of the Mother's Day celebrations, GBC's Obonu FM has celebrated mothers in its catchment area. This is to recognize their contribution to the station. The acting director of Obonu FM, Mrs. Loretta Vanderpoy, acknowledged the contributions of mothers in society and the support they have given Obonu FM over the years. This is the first time the station is celebrating Mother's Day with its clients and listeners, and the event was highly patronized. Let's move to the Central Region now. President John Mahama inspected the Praso District Hospital currently under construction as part of his recent tour of the Central Region. He said the government is vigorously building hospitals, polyclinics and chiefs compounds to create space for the numerous health professionals expected to emerge from training. Napoleon Atokito reports.
This is Praso, a town within the circuit of the president's objective of bringing healthcare closer to the doorstep of the people. In the last few years, the government has invested about $2 billion in the provision of modern hospitals and upgrading of facilities to ensure quality healthcare delivery. Praso in the Central Region is within the category of the 6 towns where 60-bed capacity district hospitals are being constructed. President John Mahama made a stop there and inspected progress of work on the project. This hospital will address the plight of people in the neighborhood of Praso who have to travel far to access good medical care in other towns. The danger in the existing scenario are the emergency cases where a patient could die within the travel time. Overall, the new medical facilities will not only absorb newly trained medical professionals, but contain the incidence of avoidable deaths.
It's my hope that we'll speed up the rate of work on this hospital so that we can deliver it as quickly as possible to the people of Praso. And so let me thank you very much for the good work you're doing and to ask you to keep it up.
Other places receiving 60-bed district hospitals are Formina, Konongo, Nsoko, Tepa, Salaga, and a 100-bed hospital for Medina in Accra. President John Mahama also called on the chiefs and the people of Denchira traditional area in Dunkwa Onofin. He said government ceased to regulate the activities of small-scale miners, otherwise called galamsey, through a law. The president in the past had issued a stern warning to operators to halt wanton destruction of the physical environment. 3 towns in the Denchira area are recipients of government flagship projects, the Community Day Senior High Schools. The towns are Chichewure, Diaso, and Hemai. The president assured them that the bad roads in the area will be attended to. Napoleon Atukitu reporting.
President John Mahama's itinerary in the Central Region was the most loaded among all the regions he had visited in the Accounting to the People tour. The Central Region is one of the swing regions in Ghana's elections, but has stuck to the ruling NDC in the past 2 elections. According to the last demographic survey conducted 6 years ago, the Central Region is the 4th poorest among Ghana's 10 administrative regions. The fortunes of the region might be changing on the back of some interventions made by the government. Another report by Napoleon Atokito.
The regional capital, Cape Coast, was the capital of the then Gold Coast before it was moved to Accra in 1877. The Gold Coast was renamed Ghana by founding President Dr. Kwame Nkrumah after independence from colonial rule in 1957. The population of the Central Region of Ghana was put at 2,201,823 according to the 2010 population census. Government departments in the region employ a few who may not necessarily be indigenes of the Central Region. By far, the areas of greatest economic interest are in fishing and farming. Population reports and cursory observation indicate that the metropolitan area of Cape Coast is more urbanized than the rest of the region. The Central Region is officially declared the 4th poorest in Ghana, coming just after the 3 regions in the north. During his Accounting to the People tour, President John Mahama visited a number of towns in the region: Cape Coast, Elmina, Komenda, Ekumfi, Gomua de Urampon, Praso, Dunkwa Onofin, Winneba, Bontrase, and Ewutu Senya. This itinerary revealed some of the interventions the Mahama-led administration is doing to improve livelihoods in the Central Region. The Commander Sugar Factory has been revived, with management directed to prioritize local people in employment offers. The new Cape Coast Stadium is set to inspire sporting activities in a region that had produced sporting grades. The redevelopment of the Kotukraba market in Cape Coast set new standards in the kind of structures which must accommodate a market. The government is supporting construction of 4 new hostels on the Winneba campus of the University of Education. The region had allocations in the new Community Day Senior High Schools pledged by government. A network of roads linking district capitals is being constructed, while roads in selected towns are being smoothened with asphalt. Roads in some villages will improve under the Cocoa Roads Improvement Program. Local fishermen and women and other allied operators are being supported in various ways. The government is providing facilities such as fishing harbors and fish processing plants in Elmina and other coastal areas, while subsidizing the accoutrements needed for fishing. At Gomwadi Urampon, President Mahama cut sword for construction of 9 polyclinics in the region, aside from hospitals and CHIPS compounds elsewhere in the region. The Kasua interchange and road expansion which accompanies the project will ease a major traffic bottleneck. The government says it will apply the law to control environmental degradation due to mining activities in the interior of the region. The absence of business conglomerates in the central region partly explains the rise of employment in the region. President John Mahama used his lecture at the University of Cape Coast to unveil his grand plan to address the problem. It dovetails recommendations by a National Employment Summit held in Accra last year. Napoleon Atukitu reporting.
Local Government Minister Alhaji Collins Dauda has made a strong appeal to chiefs to lead a crusade for the National Sanitation Day exercise. Alhaji Collins Dauda made the call when he joined the people of Tepa in the Ahafwano North constituency of the Ashanti region to participate in this month's National Sanitation Day exercise.
The exercise started about 7:06 a.m. on Saturday morning and saw the participation of students from the Tepa Senior High School, the Nursing and Midwifery Training College at Tepa, traditional heads, personnel from the various security services, as well as the local people. The cleaning covered major principal streets such as the Tepa Runabout, highways, market centers and gutters as well. The Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, Alhaji Collins Dauda, who joined the people in that locality, was impressed with the turnout. He said even though the exercise is driven by government, the chiefs and local people should own it.
Government alone cannot drive this sanitation exercise. But what has become very clear is that if this National Sanitation Day exercise is driven by our chiefs, the turnout is impressive, enthusiasm is very high. And so I strongly recommend to our chiefs to lead this National Sanitation Day exercise. In fact, anything to do with sanitation must be embraced by our chiefs and they should lead the people.
The Omahin of Tepa traditional area, Nana Dr. Eduse Atwenewampem, was grateful to government for instituting the national exercise and pledged to lead the campaign. Mr. Alexander John Akon, the Ashanti Regional Minister, said the commitment shown by the people in the area reflects their willingness to fight against filth-related diseases. The National Sanitation Day exercise since its inception in 2014 has helped in clearing most of the waste system generated in the country.
President John Mahama sees his involvement in politics as a divine calling. At a meeting at Elmina with pastors based in the central region, he said circumstances have always drifted him into the stormy waters of politics over other careers. To the president, breaking into the top echelons of power is a divine calling to offer an honest and productive stewardship to the masses. Napoleon Atokito reports.
Pastors from different churches provided a non-interdenominational setting in their meeting with the president at Elmina. President Mahama said he had wished to avoid the rough and tumble arena of politics, but the more he did, circumstances kept bringing him to politics. He said he will serve the people well. The dilemma he faces lay in choices before him, whether to place emphasis on infrastructural development, which the World Bank says Ghana has a deficit of $2 billion, or do what is politically expedient by placing money in pockets. The second option might de-emphasize infrastructure, which is a prerequisite for economic takeoff. The president said the medium-term economic prospects of Ghana were brighter than ever. The president said he will not be the cause for political mayhem throughout his political life and called on other political actors to do same.
As many saints of the gospel, I think that when the political temperatures are high, it is your intervention that helps to calm, the waters. And so I'll encourage you to continue in that role that you have played. That sometimes when us politicians forget ourselves and think we are bigger than this country, you must always remember to cut us down to size and let us know that this country would exist long after we are gone. And so I expect that you continue to play that role for us. I believe strongly that we would have peaceful and successful elections.
He had earlier met with Muslim clerics at the Cape Coast Mosque. Napoleon Atokito reporting.
On the sidelines of the 4th Ghana-South Africa Permanent Joint Commission for Cooperation, Foreign Affairs Minister Ms. Hannah Tete had held bilateral talks with his South African counterparts. In Accra, they both agreed to scale up developments by translating visions and policies into tangible projects for the mutual benefit of the people. The foreign ministries of Ghana and South Africa have so far signed 19 Memoranda of Understanding, with 2 others on agriculture and investment in the offing.
The president of Namibia says our people can't eat democracy. They want to wake up in the morning eating real food and have real assets. That's when they will say they are free. We are entering that area. We have to work together for the Africa we want. The economic situation outside this room is very gloomy, but we have to find solutions.
In respect of the matters that are specific to economic cooperation, all of those have made very good progress. But in as much as we very much appreciate when the private sector picks up on the platform that government has created to be able to take advantage of business and investment opportunities, this is not just about business, this is also about people. And that is the reason why the initiatives that come under the frame of social cooperation also needs to be pursued with the same amount of vigor as we pursue our economic cooperation.
It's still the news live on your news channel GBC24. Now, it is a special day set aside to celebrate and say thank you to all mothers and mother figures in whose heart beauty lives. Certainly, this day reflects the love, gratitude, and respect they deserve. It is with such love we say a happy Mother's Day to you all. Time now for a recap of the past week in pictures. We'll be back shortly with the international segment. The Rockefeller Foundation has announced that it will launch a $1 million cassava innovation challenge at the World Economic Forum for Africa, taking place in Kigali, Rwanda from the 11th of May to the 13th of May. Cassava is a main source of nutrition for about 500 million people in the world and a major source of rural income. More than half the world's cassava is produced by smallholder farmers in Africa. Nigeria is the world's largest producer of cassava, growing more than 50 million tons of vegetable annually. Apart from being a source of nutrition for millions of people, it is also used in food production industries and pharmaceuticals. Unfortunately, cassava has a very short shelf life and starts to spoil within 24 hours of being picked if left untreated. The project will provide financial and technical support for novel solutions to one or more problems facing the cassava crop, including preservation between harvest and processing and distance and inefficient processing. In sports, Accra Hearts of Oak has overtaken WA All Stars at the summit of the ongoing Ghana Premier League. They picked all 3 points at stake at Brekum after winning by a goal to nil. Here are the results of match day 11. Sogakope Wafa nil, Inter Allies nil. Obuasi Ashgold nil, Bichim United nil. Techiman City 3, WA All Stars 1. Brekum Chelsea nil, Hearts 1. Kumasi Kotoko 3, Dwarf nil. Doma Ediana 4, Dreams nil. Second D Hazakes 3, Edubiasi 1. Now, some arts and entertainment news. Rapper and BBNZ act EL was the biggest winner at last night's Ghana Music Awards, taking home a total of 5 awards, including the topmost Artist of the Year. Other top winners for the night included Sarkodie and Bisakade with 4 awards each. The event, which is in its 17th year, was held at the International Conference Center. Other winners were VVIP featuring Sena Dagadu for Collaboration of the Year. Kofi Kinata won Songwriter of the Year and Best New Artist of the Year, while Gospel Song of the Year went to Nicholas Omanie Champong for his hot gospel song Apostle. Hip Life Song of the Year was awarded to Yewokum by Atom, and Gospel Artist of the Year went to SP Kofi Sapong. Miss V took home the Best Female Vocalist of the Year award, while Best Male Vocalist of the Year went to Pat Thomas. Performers for the night included Sarkodie, Stoneboy, Ifia, EL, R2B's, Wizkid, Joe Metal, and Adoma. Nigeria's Wizkid was African Artist of the Year. The event was hosted by Chris Arthur, DJ Black, and Na Ashoko. Let's now go for an update on the weather. And that was the news. Thank you so much for staying on. We'll be back at 10:30 with news tonight. But coming up shortly is Talking Point, and we'll be discussing ECG private sector participation. Please stay with us and enjoy your evening.